Hi everyone, welcome to week 5 of creative design and compositing. This week I'm going to teach you how to make animated GIFs using Photoshop. And a fun fact is the word GIFs is actually supposed to be pronounced with a soft J, so as GIFs, but now everyone calls it GIFs. I just thought that would be a fun fact to share. And I wanted to show you some examples of animated GIFs. For the purpose of this class, we'll call it GIFs. This one is an example of how you can use more flat vector shapes and still create something that looks fun. This one you can see is more sketch based, and you can scan your sketches in and create this as well, this effect. This is a more illustration effect, and I think they use Illustrator and Photoshop to create this one. And for this class, I'm going to teach you how to create a GIF that looks like this. So for this class, I want you to use Photoshop and Illustrator and create an illustration, and the final program that you'll have to use is Photoshop, because that's how I'm going to show you how to create the GIF. And so even though you use Illustrator, you'll have to bring in the illustration into Photoshop. And I also suggest that you have at least 10 frames. I'll mark you on that, because if you have less than that, it kind of looks choppy and it doesn't look very fun. So you can have more than 10 frames. Please go all out, but you have to have at least 10. So let's get started. First, I want to show you how I created this simple illustration on Illustrator. I just used the shape tools, and I made this seesaw bit and this front bit triangle and the circle using all these tools here. And the ball I also are made with the circular shape tool. And what you need to know is, for the example that I showed you, there's two things that are moving, which is the seesaw bit and the ball, right? So it's fine if I group these two things together, because I'm not going to be moving this at all. But these two things, or all these three elements, will need to be imported into Photoshop as separate layers. So let me do that first. First, I'm going to open Photoshop. I'm going to create a new document, and I'm going to pretend that we're going to create something for Instagram. And the square format that you usually see on Instagram is actually 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels, and let's all use this size format for this project. So the resolution is 72 pixels per inch, and RGB, create new, perfect. So let's go back onto Illustrator, copy, bring it in as a smart object, perfect. And then lastly, this part. Perfect. So it's a little bit small right now, so I'm going to highlight all the layers, press Command T, and increase the size. And the quick way to make sure everything is aligned is, when everything is highlighted like this, I can go Command A, which will put a squiggly line around the whole artboard. And when I do that, if I press the center line like this, everything gets centered in the middle. This is very useful, so I highly recommend you use that. And just so we don't get confused, I'm going to rename this. So I'm going to name this blue ball, and I'll name this seesaw, and then I'll name this one front. So when you create I'm going to move this down, and when you create a animated GIF, you actually use something called a timeline. So when you go into Windows, you'll see that it says timeline here. So click on timeline, and make sure you set it as create frame animation. You can see there's two options, but you have to select the frame animation, and it starts off with your current screen like that. And one thing to remember, this is very important, when you move something on this, it records it, but when you rotate it, it does not record it. So what I mean by that is, So let's say right now there's this layer here, but if I add a new layer, and I'm gonna make this 0.1 seconds. So here I'm going to, on the second one, I want the ball to come down, right? So I'm gonna drop the ball like this. So if I press play, you can see that the ball is moving. And you only have this one ball, and that's totally fine. So on the second frame, I'm gonna add one more, and I pressed shift and then that down arrow. So this one, 4 times. So what this is important to know. So if I just press the down arrow, do you see how small it's moving? Sometimes I don't want it to move that slowly, and I want it to move by 10 pixels at once. And if you want that to happen, you press shift and then the down arrow, and it moves the object a lot faster. So I'm going to do that one more time. One more time. Oops. So here, what I'll do now is I know that from this point on, I need the ball to probably start bouncing back up. And I don't know if you could tell when I showed you before, when it bounced back up, I made it go a little bit faster than when it was coming down. So here, I might add this layer and make it go, I pressed the down arrow 4 times, but maybe I'll press it 6 times. So it looks like it's traveling up faster. Okay, so that's good for me. So let's play this. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So right here is when the ball hits the ladder. And the ladder needs to start moving, right? Or sorry, not the ladder, the seesaw. So what I'll do is I am actually going to group this seesaw into a group. And what I'll do is, this is the when it's flat, but I'm going to actually make a new layer like this, Command J, or you can click and drag it to the plus sign like this. And from here, I'm going to start turning it a bit. So here, like this. And then here, I know this one is the right one, so I'm going to turn it a bit more here. And then here, I'm going to make another one. And then turn it more here, like that. So right now you can see that it actually got applied to all the layers. So I'm going to go to the first layer, and I'm going to delete, or not delete, just turn off the eyeball on all of them. And when I go to the right one, which is here, I'm going to turn this one on and this one off. Let's see if that's right. Oh, okay, actually, nope. From here, I think I have to turn it. So I'm going to turn this one on, this one off, this one on, this. So do you see how I skipped this one? Because it should go a bit lower, like that. And then this one, I'm going to turn this one on and this one off. And here, maybe I will kind of make it come back up slowly. So I'm going to turn that one on, that one on, that one off, and then there. So let's play it now and see how that worked. Yeah, perfect. So that's how you make a animated GIF. So from here, you could press stop. And if you export it as a JPEG, it won't work. So you have to use this file format. It's called Save for Web Legacy. If you go to File, Export, and then Save for Web Legacy, you'll find it. And on this one, you have to make the preset GIF 128 dithered. Click that one and then press save. So wherever you want it, you press save, and let's go look at this file now. So right now I just saved it, and there we go. That's it. And now you all know how to create animated GIFs. And one website I want to share with you, Giphy.com, and you can find all sorts of GIFs here. I'm sure you guys probably know about this website, and you can see how I found that example here. But I want you to get some inspiration from this website, or you can use Pinterest or Behance, wherever you find your inspiration, and create something fun. I really look forward to seeing what you guys create this week. It's going to be great. Thanks.